I was freezed up, fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speakers. I can't hear y'all haters, you gotta speak up. I don't need to slow down, I need to speak up. Anonymous activity, Bobby B stuff. Jealousy's a ski mask, the motion, and ease up. Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh cause I was freezed up.
Welcome. Let me see if I got everything right. Y'all know I be jacking it up. Welcome to the Ultimate DJ Music Review and More Talk Show. I am your host, Miss Tosh B. Let me take down the Blast banner, which is also our affiliate broad channel, Blast Radio 247, blastmusic247.com. You can register your music and everything else on there, and you'll also get streams through there. Now, I want to say something before I begin, and it's kind of my disclaimer before we begin. I want to let our audience know that tonight's conversation includes discussions around male essay and harm. This topic can be sensitive and may bring up personal emotions or memories for some viewers. We will not be sharing graphic details, and our focus is on awareness, healing, and support, not shock or exploitation. If at any point this conversation feels overwhelming, please take care of yourself. Pause, step away, and reach out to someone you trust. To our guests, thank you for your courage. Please know you're in control of this conversation and you are free to pause at any question, anytime. Okay? Welcome, Lawyer Johnson, to the stage. Author Lawyer Johnson. I just want to welcome him to the stage so you guys can know who we're speaking about. Welcome.
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on, Natasha.
Thank you, sir. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and where you come from.
My name is Arthur Lawyer Johnson. I'm a self-publisher. I have a book out on all platforms: Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's called My Pain is My Identity. I grew up in upstate Newburgh, New York. I grew up in Goldsboro, North Carolina, partially in Brooklyn, New York, and now I reside in Gilbert, Arizona.
All right. Welcome to the show. Lawyer, I'm very pleased to have you here. Of course, because we grew up on the same block as
That's right.
children. And, our stories are kind of parallel, but this is not about me. This is really about you. Living right across the street from me and not knowing these same things existed right across the street. So, what I do here is I ask 5 questions or more. Usually it's more because, I give the audience a chance to kind of fill you out and get to know your story and who you are and what you do. So, you want to start with a question? Want to get it started?
I'll let you get started. I'm just gonna, answer.
Okay. So, when you think about your journey, what helped you realize that what happened to you deserved to be taken seriously? But before we start that, let's get into what happened to you so that the questions can kind of flow smoothly.
Okay. Um, what happened to me, and it started when I was 7 years old, and Natasha, she can vouch for this. Our block was live. Kids played every Saturday morning, every
Yes.
Sunday morning when we got out of school, and as a kid, your mind is not aware of dangers. It's just your mind is just fully open to what life has to give you. And it was just a typical day. I just finished watching cartoons. I ate my favorite cereal, Captain Crunch, and and I just came out on the stoop, and I was just hanging out in the streets, and one of my sister's friends, uncle, he asked me on a Saturday morning, could I go downstairs in his basement and help him move some furniture? And if I was to help him move some furniture, he would give me some cookies. So me not even thinking any harm was going to come to me, I was just going down there to help this individual move some furniture, and in return I would get some cookies. But it turned out to be a trap for him to sexually abuse me. So after he sexually abused me, I was kind of confused as a kid, um, very confused, very emotional, and I can remember me walking just next door to my house, and in my young mind, I was thinking that my mother would probably be mad at me if I told her what this individual had done to me. And I just can remember her, because at that age, your parents still, they wash you, made sure you was clean from playing outside every day. And I thought that she'll probably see something um that happened to me. And from that day forward, I just lived in a lot of trauma. So that's how the whole story began, is me being sexually abused as a young child and living through all this trauma, and being here now to share this story on the Tasha Show.
Now, let's get back to the question. When you think about your journey, what helped you realize that what happened to you deserved to be taken seriously?
Mm, Let me answer that question. Um, I think it deserved to be taken seriously because all the trials and tribulations that I had to go through. Like at that time, I didn't have anybody to talk to and kind of walk me through all my pain and trauma, and give me tools to work on to kind of offset the trauma that I was going through. So to answer your question, telling my story, um, I wanted to tell my story to be vulnerable so other people can share their life stories, and be vulnerable to their kids, and to their sons and daughters. So that's why I felt like my story needed to be shared, and why it needed to be shared, to just show my trials and tribulation of what trauma can do to you. If you don't have anyone to talk to, if you don't have anybody to walk you through the pain and sorrow, it'll take you through all um, the hurt that you're gonna have inside, and from that hurt, which is gonna pour out in aggression, and through that aggression, it might end you up in a jail cell or either dead. So that's why I felt like I had to tell this story to kind of um, um, help people through all the pain and trauma that no one was there to help me through.
Many men are taught to stay silent about pain. What messages did you receive growing up that made speaking out difficult or possible or impossible?
I just know in the African American community, um, that it's frowned upon for any black man to act like he was weak. You know, if I would have told any of my friends or any, I'm just thinking at that time, if I would have
Absolutely.
told any of my friends, if I would have told like a male figure that I looked up to, they probably would have told me to suck it up. We don't talk about that. That's taboo. You tougher than that. You a black man. But as I have learned that, society has confused vulnerability as a weakness. Because when you look
Yeah.
at it, vulnerability is like one of the highest forms of strength. And I didn't know that at that time. So that's why I like held my hands up, and I put on this,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
tough, coat, because people don't want to talk about it because we had to portray that tough image. And that's why I portrayed that tough image, because I didn't really want to talk about it because it made me look weak.
The funny part is that I watched the Hey, T's real, whoever that is, they're speaking to both of us, so they know both of us. Um, what I come to understand, and watching the red pill fellas and the beef that they have with women, it kind of like I feel for them in a way. You know what I mean? Like I feel for them because their anger is so relentless, and it's toward women. I can't make her act like this, and I can't make her, and we need to bring the women down into submission. But I don't think that a lot of times the fellas recognize that these women are guarded in this way because of the same thing that you're guarded from. The same way that you feel about having to be tough afterward, and not being able to share it, so it causes a level of tension between the sexes, right? And it's because that a lot of times women went through the same thing, and their toughness on the exterior is the same toughness that males are exhibiting. Sometime I think that if we just sit down and talk to each other, we'll figure that out. And instead of bashing each other, because I watch people bash each other even after coming out to tell people, so that makes it a lot harder, much more difficult for people to be able to say, this is what happened to me.
Yeah, you
What's your
have to think
what's your
of
thoughts on that? Go ahead.
you have to think, Tasha. I can't really talk from a female perspective, and I can't really talk about male bashing a woman because I don't live in that space, and I'm just being
Yeah,
honest. So I can't really answer for an individual that does that. I only can answer for what I have experienced and what I use as a defense mechanism. My defense mechanism was always to throw my guards up.
yeah,
Always be guarded. And the reason why I say always be guarded because what happened to me, I wasn't gonna let that happen to me anymore. Because I grew up like once that happened to me, I didn't trust any male figure in around me. Period. If it wasn't like
yeah,
my uncles or one of my close friends, I didn't like any. I still right now to this day I don't like anybody standing behind me. I don't go into clubs, and if I go into the club or I go into like a restaurant, I can't have my back towards the door because I'm always in that fight, flight, flee mode. Like I'm
yeah,
not gonna let anybody hurt me. So I can identify with women that has gone through sexual abuse or any kind of abuse that when they guard it, that's just a defense mechanism to kind of throw people off them because they don't want that to happen to them anymore. And I
absolutely.
still I try to unlearn it, but it's kind of hard to unlearn because after being incarcerated, your sense of awareness is like at 110.
Yeah,
Because you're in there with men, and some men in there they have a different perspective of how a man's supposed to be towards them. So when I was in there, I was very hyper vigilant, and I wasn't gonna let anything happen to me. So
yeah,
um, it's definitely a defense mechanism that we all use, that we guard ourselves and we protect ourselves because whoever that abuser was that initiated all those devices in us to defend ourselves, it's going to be with us for the rest of our life. So I understand where you're coming from a woman perspective. Like that's what make us non-submissive because we're not going for it anymore.
yeah. And when I say it from the male's side, because I watch a lot of men hide.
Mhm.
You're one of the very few that will actually come out and say, like, this is what happened to me. But I watch so many men hide and not tell what happened to them, and then instead of saying this is what happened to me, they take it out on the entire world. Saying, like, it's difficult for women to say it, but I know that it has to be 10 times more difficult for men to say it.
Yeah, if you go back to what we was talking about earlier, it's like I can only talk from an African man perspective. I can't. That's all I can talk about because I'm living within that now. I
Yeah,
was always taught that as a little kid, you can't be soft. Even like with my big, even with my big homies or my older friends, they taught me not to be, soft. You had to be tough, right? So when you see
Yeah.
people hiding and you see all these act outs, it comes from them not getting the help. They don't know how to vent. Like I figure out how to vent my anger and my trauma by putting it into things that I love to do. Like I'm an electrician, so I'm always constantly working on stuff, or even with my contract company, I'm always active doing something, or I'm writing a book, or I'm trying to help people. So those are my devices that I go to. I have pets, like I have Rottweilers. I
Yeah.
go to them
Yeah.
when I need that comfort. I go to my wife when I need that comfort. I go to my close family members when I need that comfort. When you're in that space that those other individuals that you're talking about, they don't know how to vent. Their venting comes in the form of aggression. Their venting comes in the form of let me smoke some weed or let me do some drugs. Their form of venting come into burying it in alcohol.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why they don't they not that they not vulnerable enough to share that because they don't want to carry the pain of how people going to look at them, because like I was saying, that the society has confused vulnerability as a weakness, when weakness is the highest form of strength.
Absolutely.
And we got to, as men, we have to get away from that, because
Yeah.
you being tough, you not being vulnerable, like if something like that was to happen to your daughter or your son, by you sitting there being tough, how can you break down into the simplest form to communicate with your kids to help them when they're going through something that you already experienced? So we have to get away from that. And that's why I'm glad that you reach out to me, because I know you're a fire starter and you will encourage people to start having these uncomfortable conversations, because
Absolutely.
these conversations need to happen, and we need to get these men to, have these conversations and stop hiding behind fear, because fear is the main thing that kills men, but being vulnerable is the only thing that's going to free you. So we need to get these guys to free their spirit and start living their life again.
Oh shoot. I jump started on Facebook. I went to telling all my business. They thought I had went crazy. They thought I went crazy. They're like, what the hell is wrong with her? It's like I would never say that on Facebook.
But you freed yourself though, huh?
Yeah, but I was full.
Yeah.
I was full. And everybody that I was full with all of their stuff, not even my own,
Yes.
was on Facebook. You get what I'm saying? Like they weren't in
Yeah.
arm's reach, because if they was in arm's reach, I'd probably reach out and snatch and touch one of them. But and you understand what I'm saying? We from
Yeah,
the
I
ad.
understand.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because all of them were in full platform for everybody to see,
Yeah.
where we could all take accountability at one time in front of the world,
Yes.
I just spilled it all out. And I dare somebody to come. You understand? Like I dared everybody, like come forward, because I'm telling it, and I'm
Yeah.
telling it where everybody can see it, where you don't go behind closed doors and say, no, that's not what happened. Because I'm right here live on Facebook telling it all, where we can have a whole class participation right in the comment section.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody say nothing. Couldn't nobody say nothing. Like I had put everybody on blast automatically, real quick. Look, this is what happened.
I know that's right.
Yo,
Why
they was
should
like,
why
what
should
the
we
hell
why
that
should we
happened to her?
suffer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why y'all protecting the abuser? Yeah, don't protect him. We the ones suffering, but y'all protecting him. Nah,
No, but
let's switch it around.
according to the word, why everybody up here talking about praise the Lord and y'all going to church every Sunday, it says confess your sins one to another.
Yeah.
Let's start right there. You feel me?
Yeah.
Confess your sins one to another. I'm telling you what I right here live on Facebook. I'm telling you what I did, what I didn't do. I'm telling you what you did and what I'm not accepting.
Mhm.
And if you step across this line again, we're gonna have a problem. Right
I
here
get it.
live on Facebook in front of everybody, in front of thousands of people we don't even know.
Well.
They they thought I had lost my whole damn mind. Like, what's wrong with her? She done went crazy, but you know what? I'm free to
Well,
do what I want any old time. You feel me, brother man?
I got you.
So when I seen your book, um, your book was so overwhelming. I was like, man, like I wish that even as we were children, I could have said to him, I'm going through the same thing right across the street. Y'all just don't know it. And our
Yeah.
friend four doors down from you was going through the same thing right across the street from me that you don't even know about.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And our friend up the block right here, up the street, across the street, 5 doors up from me, going, and I'm only saying it to you like this because you can count the doors that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
You feel what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like I'm only
Yeah.
saying it in this way because we come from the same block, same ave, same street. And
Yeah.
I'm giving you the dynamics without saying the names.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because our people 4 doors down from you, across the street from me, was going through the same thing. And our people 5 doors up across from you was going through the same thing.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I mean, you could about put your hand on it from there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And nobody ever wants to share. But I watched some of the things take place with him, and it was like heartbreaking watching my friends struggle through that. You know,
Yeah.
always been a big mouth. So, and y'all know that. I always been a big mouth. So I'm going to just say, no, you didn't, Uncle. Yes, you did do that. I mess up the whole party. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm going to say, Uncle, stop lying. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Uncle, stop lying.
Yeah, it's a sad thing that kids have to experience that, I think anybody experience that because, you don't even know what journey it's like. And I'm being honest, Natasha, I just know I don't know what a normal child. I don't know what a normal childhood is without
Oh,
trauma.
hell
I
no.
don't know. From 7 years old, even though from seven on back, I know those years were amazing. But I can't even look at those years anymore without the trauma, right? And moving forward, I don't know what a perfect life is. Like because I never had the opportunity to live a shelter perfect life, or I had the opportunity to like pursue, like if I wanted to play basketball or football or
Yeah.
even go to college, go to a college or something like that, because my mind was just so um off. It was just
Yeah.
so off because I couldn't focus like that. So you imagine going through your trauma, but you still had to go to school and get good grades, going through your trauma, but you still had to go through the peer pressure of making sure your clothes is intact so your peers don't laugh at you because you have something on that don't even match. Just all the trauma on top of poverty, or all the trauma on top of not knowing who your father is, all the trauma knowing that you still living on a block where a person sexually abuse you. It's a lot until you face um with that situation where you can't run anymore. And I think when I got incarcerated, that was the aha moment for me. Like, you can't run anymore. Like, normally when you dealing with your trauma, you can be aggressive, but like, now what are you gonna do? And I think that defined the moment was
Hmm.
that defined the moment was for me, because like I was just off the rails. Like when I I got locked up in North Carolina. I broke out of jail, stayed on the run for like 3 years, and and I haven't seen my family. I'm telling you, Tasha, it was like you got to get that book. You got to read the book. You got to read the book. But I stayed on the run for like 3 years, and when they finally caught me, I mean, I haven't seen my mother in probably like 3.5 years, and I can remember her clear as day coming to visit me at Hornet Correction Facility in North Carolina, and my sister as well as one of my good friends, they all came together, and my sister and I and my friend, we was conversing, but my mother wouldn't even look me in my face, and I had to tell them to excuse themselves so I could really have this one-on-one time with my mother, and I could just see that she was worried for me, and I had to tell her like, "Mom, good, and nothing's gonna happen to me." Blasey, blasey, and that was like the defining moment of my
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah,
Back in, I said, I can't run. I'm gonna, pour myself into, get my GED. I'm gonna pour myself in to get my electrical wiring certification. So I just poured myself in all those things. But that was the moment that really hit the most, just looking at the expression on my mother's face and just seeing how much pain I caused her. And I'm not doing that anymore. So, but that trauma will make you act out, because people just need to understand that people with trauma, they have a lot of triggers. We have a lot of triggers. We get triggered for just even seeing the same situation at the same setting that we were in when something happened to us, or if we see a person walking in the same way that the individual abused you in, like we trigger. Somebody stand behind us,
yeah.
we trigger. And
Stop
it's a
talking to me
hard
like that.
thing. Yeah, stop talking to me like that. So
For real.
it's hard to like but you have to find the thing that you have to find the thing that you attach to the most to offset that trauma. But most of the kids you see, we quick to say, man, that young guy crazy. That dude went over there and shot up the whole block. But I guarantee you, if you start pulling back them layers and layers and layers and layers within them, it's trauma in there somewhere. Because I
Yeah,
guarantee you probably
yeah,
lost a loved one, or because trauma come in many forms. It can come in death. It can come in sexual abuse. It can come in it can come in you start being not having a lot of food to eat when you were younger. It just come in different forms. So, I just know
yeah,
what my trauma has led me to, and how hard it took me to get to where I'm at now and still um, deal with it, but not as much, because I have my devices I use to kind of offset my pain. But yeah, it'll carry you down that long road.
yeah. That's what I was saying about when I watch a lot of the fellas. Because I'm an only girl.
Yeah,
I've had years and years to study the fellas.
yeah,
My mom passed away when I was young. And so the fellas raised me. So I've
yeah.
had years and years of being right up underneath the fellas, and able to study the fellas. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of the
Yes.
very rare females, well, women, excuse me, 'cause I don't like the word female. I'm one of the very rare women that I know that can be amongst the men, and not really have a whole bunch of issues when it comes to conversing. And that
Yes.
I attribute to being raised by men, right? Um, However, in watching over the years, my brothers is real soft. Like, eight out of the six, the four god brothers, the two biological, the other, out of household brother, they are all very, very soft.
Why you say that, Natasha?
Like,
Why you say? Why you explain that, Natasha? Now, come on. Now.
when I say soft, I mean, like, my brother's gonna handle it in a manner in which I'm not gonna handle it. They
Okay.
call me the
Yeah.
general.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm glad you cleared that up. So
You get
what
what
you
I'm
saying?
saying?
Yeah, you the fire
When I
starter. You
yeah, when
you don't
I
want to
say
listen to
soft,
anything.
I'm telling you, my brother's gonna fall for all kind of stuff, and I just be looking at him like, you serious, bro? Like they're very so when I hear the women who don't get a chance to experience the soft side of men, it's painful for me the same way I was saying with the red pill. You understand? But I
Yeah,
understand the soft side of my brothers because of what we've gone through
yeah,
together and separately, if that makes sense.
yeah. That makes sense. But from your conversation, I know you have experienced trauma and traumatized people. Um, and I have learned this from going to counseling. You either in the blue or the red. Like, and one thing
Yeah,
about people in the trauma, once we get hot, we don't go to the gray area. We're going straight to the top. And once we go right to the 100, it's hard to get us back down between 0 and
absolutely.
10. Yeah, we just because that trauma give us a false perception of what reality is. Like you could say one thing, but in our mind, we looking at it in a whole different perspective,
Oh
and that's
hell
what
no,
make us.
gave me a
Yeah,
real reality
yeah,
of what
yeah,
reality
yeah,
was.
yeah, and that's why
See,
we
I had a
always go
false
off the.
perception before that. Sorry
Yeah,
for interrupting you. You get what I'm saying? I had a false reality before that. See, because I thought everybody was good and everybody was cool and everything was straight, but somebody woke me up. And then I
yeah,
had to look at people like they were. And then I was like, oh, damn, you really like this though, right? See, that's the reality for me is, oh, damn, you really like this.
I get it.
You get what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah,
Because we be thinking that we not in a realistic idea of life because of what happened to us. But no, that's reality. Like,
yeah,
no, you ain't hear me. You ain't hear me say a minute ago. Come on, Uncle, stop that shit, Uncle. I'm
yeah,
gonna interrupt the whole picnic because Uncle's gonna lie and tell some sort of lie and shit, and I'm waking right at because I'm in reality. I'm not in denial. I'm in reality. Uncle, cut it out, man. Put that baby down, bro. Cousin, stop picking up them kids though.
yeah.
You feel me?
I got you.
Stop playing these games, yo. Cause everybody else might be willing to say, nah, that's just, and I'm looking at it like, nah, that ain't just. This is reality. This is who this nigga really is. What do you wish people understood about male essay that they often get wrong?
I think they just don't. Oh, did they often get wrong?
I send a zinger every now and again. I ain't lying. I
Yeah,
zoom.
I think what they get. I think what they get wrong that all of us are not strong inside. We like I was saying, we put up this mask as a fence mechanism. That's one of the things that people get wrong. I think people look at us like we okay, but 9 times 10 we not okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's a strong statement.
It's the truth,
That's a strong statement. I watched it play out. When I say to you, my brothers call me the general is because they know I'm gonna take that like it was nothing. That punch was nothing, and I'm gonna bounce right back. Like I've always been that person from little. Well, from us being rough
but
on the block. What I'm saying about them is that when I watch the magnificence of men, right? Because I watch everybody around me, as far as men, everybody in my presence. I watched them do some absolutely dynamic things, even hurting. And I remember saying to my son one day, because I watch him do some dynamic things as a young man. And I
Well,
always
you
say stuff to him like
not to cut you off. Explain dynamic, like
dynamic,
you.
meaning going beyond, above and beyond in a difficult situation.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure.
So when I say dynamic in that way, like I watched, my household, my baby brother, who comes straight out of a household of drug addiction and all kind of stuff happening around us. Like we done seen all kind of stuff growing up. You get what I'm saying? But I watched
Yeah.
him go into that, and Lord knows what else happened to him, because I can't even imagine, not even, trying to tell his story, because I can't tell his story without asking him his story. You get what I'm saying? But,
Yes.
you know, knowing my situation, even his strain on him, and then watching him coming back and bouncing back to become Newburgh's first and youngest African American business owner in the history of the place. So when I say dynamics, even after the trauma, even there because of, if that makes sense. Can you
Yeah, it makes
elaborate on,
sense.
yeah, your on
Me
your,
get to where I'm at.
yeah,
I always felt like I was like I always felt that what happened to me made me very defiant. It put me in that frame of mind that I was. It made me a risk taker. It made me into a person where it's no surrender or retreat. I'm only gonna push forward. It's just something about that situation of me living within that trauma that has turned on a switch in me that I'm gonna move forward regardless of what the odds are against me. It's just I'm not gonna lose. Like what can I lose when somebody do something that horrific to you? Like what else do you have to lose?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I gotta push forward. Like something like that. Somebody taking advantage of you, like it's very offensive. Like especially when you get older, you looking at it like and then you
yeah,
grow up like looking at your kids and your grandkids, and you like, no, I'm not. Well, I'm not retreating from anything. I'm not backing
yeah,
down. I'm not retreating. Whatever's out there for me, I'm going to get it because I felt like that situation, um, it has taken a link out of my life that that put me in a position that I'm the only person that can put it back together, right? But it
yeah,
took me a long
yeah,
time to fill in that gap of what an individual has taken from me. So
yeah,
I get it. Like if your brother was abused as a kid, I understand why he's so divine, he's so relentless, and why he has to push forward, and he's not gonna let anybody deny him because he in the back of his mind, like if this right here happened to me, man, it ain't happened to me no more. I'm pushing through. And that's what happened to me in my during the whole course of my life. I was
yeah,
always trying to be better than what was around me. When people told me I couldn't do it, I was like, watch. And they still be like, you can't do it. I'd be like, all right, watch.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
won't I won't be denied. And that just come from that circumstance of what I experienced when I was 7 years old. Like it turned on a light. It turned the light switch on in my mind. Like I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I can't lose. If that makes sense,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
tell
know.
you something. No, it do. It do. I'm gonna tell you something later on. about that strong thing and about us wincing back a little bit. I'm gonna tell you something that you don't know. At what point did you realize healing wasn't about being strong, but about being honest?
Mm, you said when did I realize?
At what point? Yeah.
At one point did I realize? I think I realized when I figured out my purpose in life.
Okay.
When I
Amen.
figured out, I had that aha moment. I'm just being honest, Tasha. I had that aha moment because I'll always be like, why God, why God, why God, right?
Yeah.
And the moment
Amen.
I figured out, the moment that I figure out that my struggles in life wasn't about me, it was about me helping other people. When I realized that God don't does not place a burden on you that you cannot bear, that's when I realized that it wasn't about me. It was about sharing my journey and helping other people. So that's when I realized that my healing was a tool to help other people heal. That's what
Yes.
made it relevant for me to just speak out when I realized that, listen, your purpose in life is not about you. My purpose in life, and I want to put it in reference for everyone, right? Because we get so caught up in us. We so us, me. It's all about you, right? But you got to
Yes.
understand that when you look at these great and I'm not saying I'm great, but when you look at great individuals in this world, at some point they realized that it wasn't about them. It was about them
Yes.
making a greater
Yes.
sacrifice for the people that was
Yes.
behind them, right? Because if you look at Martin
Yes.
Luther King, he made those great sacrifices. So the generation behind him had a
On
reference point,
plan.
and that's all.
Uh,
And that's all we are. We are a reference
yeah.
point for the
Yeah.
generation behind us to have a reference so they can become stronger and become a reference point for the other individuals come behind them. So that's all I am is just a vehicle for God. That's all I am is a reference point to people that's behind me so they can one day pick up my book and be like, man, this dude was a courageous guy, even though he's a strong dude, and people look up to him. It was very courageous for him to put his whole life story in a book and tell the world that this is what happened to me. And I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna push all my chips on the table, and whatever people have to say about me, I don't care because I know my
Yeah.
purpose is for
Yeah.
God, and I'm a reference point for the generation behind me.
A lot of them will can pick up your book and relate because a lot of them are holding on to the same secret. So
Yeah,
a lot of
time to let
times
that secret
where
go.
yeah, and I'm hoping, you don't realize, but you're here not just on my channel, but you're on a radio station channel. You're going through Instagram, you're going through Blast Radio, you're going through Facebook, you're going through after the stream ends, you'll be on X with this conversation. So more and more people will get a chance to understand and see your story. Hopefully, pick up your book and read it, and
Hmm.
take time out for themselves to tap into that which is really ailing them. Because not too many people take time to do that.
Yeah.
Like when I started spilling it out, but I've always been quite open. Like I live right now with my abuser, and death did us part. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we
Yeah.
were, and it wasn't like people would say you have some sort of attraction or anything. I didn't know anything except that this was my dad. I knew
Yeah.
that this wasn't my biological dad. I wasn't even allowed to actually claim my biological dad while this man was in the house. Every time I would say my dad, it would be like hush, like shh, like they would shut that right down. Like, no, don't even say that. But praise the Lord, my biological father is in my life right till this day. So,
Nice.
there's no interrupting the connection You get what I'm saying? But I live right with that person right in the house with me. Everybody thought he was the coolest dude in the neighborhood. He was in there hurting me up. Not in a physical, one-on-one type of way, but there was all this extra stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like I had wrote a
Yeah.
poem one time, and it went something like, um, at the age of 4, I knew how to come, or God forgive my language, but it was
Mm.
the truth. I was telling them the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I've never been quiet about the harm done to me. What I found out is that other people want me to be quiet about the harm done to me.
So how do you deal with your trauma though, Natasha? I'm kind of curious of how do you deal with your trauma because I can tell from our conversation that you have experienced a lot. What tools do
Oh,
you use to deal with your trauma?
oh, you have to you have to go to counseling. I've been in counseling for years. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you literally have to be able to speak it out. But because I've gone through the counseling of it all, um, it's enabled me to be able to talk about it and not spaz out and not go through all kind of feelings. And you get what I'm saying? Because like I watch people go
Yeah.
through mad feelings and shit when they be talking about. I'm like, no, it happened. Like, and it wasn't your fault that it happened. So whatever anger that you have with yourself, cut that shit out. You get what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
we we didn't that a child cannot be responsible for being abused.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what people do. They try to make the child responsible for the abuse. And a lot of times we as children take that on. That's what causes the anger and us not being able to tell people. Because now we mad at ourselves because why we go down there
Yeah. That's
or
so
why we
true.
go over there. You know what I'm saying? Or I shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? You get to beating your own self up mentally, and then therefore now that you beating yourself up, now you beating the world up too.
Yeah. That's
So
so
now
true. Yep.
everybody come around me, I can't tell what happened to me. And so if you say something crazy, I might bust you in your face though.
Them triggers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so bad at by the time I was 16 that you had to ask God to tie my hands to my waist. I was praying when my son ran through the police department and I was shackled. And I ran to get my 3-year-old baby when I turned because he seen mommy. And when I went to go reach for him and they went to grab my child like he was a literal prisoner, that was my breaking point at 19 years old. That's when I knew something had to give. Like all this have to come out some kind of way, and I gotta change.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like when I
Hmm.
was shackled like a slave, and my baby couldn't touch me. That's when I realized, you know what, you gotta do something. You can't stay like this. You can't stay like this. You know. So
Yeah.
those were my coping mechanisms and my little triggers for, as a woman in the situation. That's why I say, dealing with a man, um, I watch so many men not able to come forward and not able to just go ahead and kick it. Like, man, just kick it, because we know about them dudes in the neighborhood. Like we know about the females in the neighborhood. We know about them.
Hmm.
There ain't no lack of them. Like there ain't no lack of the fellas. They'll be grabbing on, pinching on to you wee wee just like a man will.
Yeah, especially now, like on that block, man. It's kind of I call it like people hide behind religion. I call it a religious camouflage. They hide behind that, man, and those be the ones that be actually, yeah, be doing the most harm. And I'm talking indirectly because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
this individual, deep in the church, come out with the soft preacher voice and everything. So yeah,
So,
so I like,
I get it. When I tell you I get it,
yeah,
so
yeah,
my way of coping is definitely, I always recommend people go to counseling, go get some therapy for it, ahead of time.
yeah.
Because what'll happen is for me, even after I healed after the first session of therapy, I had to go back and get some more therapy for the first session of therapy that took place after the second therapy. And then I had to go
Mm.
back and get some third therapy for the second therapy that I did the first time.
Yeah, it's a lot, boy.
you,
Whew.
you you get what I'm saying? Because I kept
Yeah.
putting myself back in the same situations, just not with the same people, with new people.
So you have learned how to protect your space now,
Oh man, you better not cross my door. I ain't lying. If you cross my door wrong, if you I mean for real, I might not pick up the phone. I ain't lying. I mean, why is you acting like this? And I keep trying to tell him I ain't acting. I ain't acting. Like I ain't acting. Like I'm serious. Your sister called me up. We talk and cackle after they ain't speaking for 20 years. Like two little bad little kids. You feel me? But it's only people who I have that with that I do that with.
yeah.
You understand? I got another one of our friends, that right on the block. And if you're gonna know if I just say, call me up and say stuff like, you ready for this? And when she say you ready for this, my head go back like this, like, oh man, here we go. You feel me?
Yeah.
Cause I know she finna talk about somebody. She about to call somebody out their name. They been to be all kind of this and that. And I'm just not even into that.
Yeah.
Like I'm so far past that in the physical as a person, as a healed individual.
Yes. And that's what
You,
it
you,
boiled down to is protecting your peace because that's all you have is your peace.
yeah, as a healed individual, I be like, oh no, not today. So like every year we fall out, we don't speak for about a year, and then we start speaking again because I be trying to see, did you grow any? What did support look like for you, whether it came from one person, a moment, or even within yourself? I'm sorry, Lori, I got issues.
Don't we all? Don't
They
we
ain't the
all have
bad kind,
issues?
but
Yeah.
they issues just the same. They ain't the bad kind, but they issues is just the same. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We do have fun on this show. I don't know if you watched any of the interviews, but we talk serious, but we have a lot of fun on this show. And
Yeah,
the
it's
reason
good.
why I like to smile and laugh is because laughter is actually healing.
It is.
Um, okay. What did support look like for you, whether it came from one person, a moment, or even within yourself?
What the support look like? Ooh. Well, my support look like, man, to me, my wife, family, and believe it or not, my pets. They don't talk
Yeah,
back, but they
yeah.
understand. Yeah,
Woo,
I attached to my dogs.
woo.
They
Very
they
little.
love me.
Amen.
They love me unconditionally. So listen, I don't care what I'm going through. They're gonna be right there.
And I
So
want
that's
to
what
say
support
to
look like to
you,
me.
because I didn't get a chance to say to you, but now that you're up close and personal part of me, my air conditioner is blowing all the time. So I always got a little runny baby nose and stuff. So you'll see me
Yeah.
ducking and wiping nose and stuff every now and again, like a bad little kid. It just be pouring down. But what I wanted to say to you that I didn't get a chance to say to you, but I have you here, and I just want to say condolences on the loss of your sister.
Oh man, I appreciate it, boy. You know, man, listen, boy, you done put a smile on my face. That was my baby,
Yeah,
boy. Ooh,
yeah,
yeah, Stella, boy, man. Let me tell you, she's here. She has. It's weird because I never felt the feeling that she passed away. So she's always present. Like you know,
yeah.
yeah, man. That's my dog, man. Yeah. Ooh, yep. Appreciate that. Yeah, my Stella baby. Yep. She was
I just
aged,
wanted
but
to
I
say
tell
that
you,
because I remember
you
her
and
and Bridget, her and Bridget in the middle of the road talking about boogie down, baby. Remember that? Boogie down,
yeah.
baby. They was little
I
as all
forgot all about
outdoors.
Bridget. Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, Bridget. Yeah, sir,
Yeah.
boy. Yeah.
Her and Bridget in the middle of the road talking about boogie down, baby.
Mm, North Miller Street, boy. Yes, sir. Yeah.
See, I could
Good
bring back
times.
stuff. That's right. I could bring back stuff. I could bring back stuff now. You know?
Yeah. I know right across the street from you was that church where they gave them free summer meals at.
Uh-huh. Over that way. That
Mm-hmm.
was over across from 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 Chris and them, Tom Lee and them.
mm, yeah.
Hmm.
Yup.
I was across from Cricket,
Yeah, I know.
and
Yep. Yup.
Tiny and Sean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I got an interview coming up with Tiny. I got an interview coming up with Tiny. I gotta schedule it, but she does taxes, and I want to put the people up on the newer taxes and stuff. And T got all the updated information. But let's get back to our conversation. We have like one or two more questions for men watching who may be carrying something similar in silence. What would you want them to know tonight?
That is not their fault. It is not your fault, and
Amen.
your story only describes you. But what you're doing now is, how can I say it? Your past is what explain you, but what you're doing right now is what is defining you. So don't confuse the two. Your story is your story, but what you're doing now is what's defining you in your future.
That's right. That's right. And how can communities, especially families, schools, and creative spaces, do better at protecting boys and believing men?
Protecting boys and believing men.
Yeah, and believing men when they say that this is what happened to me.
What can they do better? I think they should have a safe space for them. I think it starts with the safe space. I think the schools should do more better with creating programs or 1-800 numbers that kids can call without their parents knowing, and
Yeah,
have somebody on the end of that conversation that can listen to them and investigate, because the system is designed whereas you have to have A, B, and C in order for social, what they call it, social services to step in and be like, oh, this is really wrong. We should start investigating like right then when a child come to school, or a girl or a boy come to school and say this is what happened. This is what is happening to me by my
yeah,
uncle or my aunt. We should pay attention to that. We should start investigating in silence, and have that child bring some kind of information back that we can really go after these individuals that's bringing harm to these young kids. Because man, I'm telling you, when them kids are young like that and they are experienced, sexual abuse, it basically off balance their mind for the rest of their lives. So we have to catch it like early, and I think they should
Yeah.
just come up with some safe spaces, safe programs, safe communication with somebody that can listen to those kids and believe what they're saying through investigating the matter.
Now, can you tell them where they can get your book? Where, once again, give your addressing statement. Like who you are, where, what you do, how you do.
Well, my name is Arthur Lawyer Johnson. I am a motivational speaker. I am an entrepreneur. Um, I'm an author now, and you can find my book, My Pain Is My Identity. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes and Nobles. You can find it on Audible. You can find it on Apple Play. It's also in it's in the ebook format. It's in paperback format. It's in hardback format, and it's also in audio format. And I have priced it in an affordable range, so people that need help and they need to purchase that book, they really don't even have any excuse of why they can't even purchase it, because you can purchase the ebook for 99 cents. You can purchase the Audible book for $3.99. You can get the paperback on Amazon for $17.99. Or if you want to get an autographed copy, you can link into my website. It's called Lawyer Johnson Motivational Wings with a Z on it on the back of it. .com, and that's all you have to do is just order the book. I'll autograph it for you. You tell me what you want me to put in there, and I'll ship it off to you.
All right, I'm gonna get mine as soon as my check drop.
Let's see.
I thought that'd make you laugh. Lawyer, I want to say something to you that a lot of people don't really talk about, and is that the fear of telling people. I said to you, earlier in the interview, that I was going to say something to you. I don't know if you remember when we were little, and I almost got abducted.
Did you?
Yeah, going walking to Guinea.
Wow.
I was walking to Guinea Avenue one day, and I got right to that house, right by the grass lot before you get to Guinea Avenue. You remember that little house that sat right up
Yeah,
on the hill right there?
yeah, yeah.
As you come around the curb, and it's that last house before you get to the
Mm,
lot. It was a dude sitting there in a Jeep, in a car. Well, it wasn't a car. It was like I say Jeep now, but it was a um station wagon back then. And he was there, you know, masturbating in the car, and he called me over to the car. And I was like the only kid out there. I was already late, and you know how far it was from us to Guinea Avenue.
mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
us, you know, and so to stop myself from getting beat at home for missing school, I got up, 8 years old, and walked all the way to school by myself. And I was afraid to tell my mother. I didn't tell my mother. I told Gracie and Gaga. Remember Guy and Gracie lived across the street from you underneath Sunkiss?
I probably do. I know that.
Remember?
I know. I heard that name, Gracie. That's crazy. Cause you know what, Todd, Natasha, all of us used to take that path to go to Gibney Avenue, go across the bridge, and go across the street, and that. Like, can you
Yeah,
imagine? I would never ever let my kids or my grandkids ever be on no expedition to just walk that far. Like, but you gotta look at the time we were living in, where everything was about trust.
absolutely.
But man, that was a long walk. That's like 3 to 4 miles, right? How far you
Yes.
think that?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's about 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
But now
Ooh,
now let
yeah.
me say this to you though. I was afraid to tell. I was afraid to tell. I went and told Gracie. You know when I say Sun Kiss, I should have said Lorraine because that's probably what you know her by. Remember Milton and Lorraine lived on the middle floor, and then
I
Gracie
know
lived.
Lorraine.
Yeah, yeah. She said walking through Downing Park. I didn't walk through Downing Park. I went up the back way. I went up the back way, up
Yeah, I know you
South
through the
Street.
wood, through the
Yeah,
woods
and
part.
then I
Yeah,
cut in,
yeah.
and then I went through the back way down Guinea Avenue. But I'm gonna say something to you guys, and I hope that this makes sense to you. There was a young man that was snatched um, in our hometown, a little baby named Mark Bukal, and my senses are so strong that when the baby got snatched, I was sitting like behind the foundry over there, like, and I kept hearing a little voice saying, "Help me, help me." And I kept saying to the people around me, "Do y'all hear that? Can anybody hear that? Is it just me? Because I was with one of my homeboys. Like, can you hear that?" He was like, "What you mean? Can you hear that?" I was like, I keep hearing something screaming over there. Cross over there. Because all that is woods over there in the back of the
Mm,
foundry is all. And so all my instincts was on high alert, and like my flashback went right back to that moment when I would have been taken, but I ran. And I don't know if y'all remember, I was real fast to be a little kid. I could run really quick to be a little kid. Remember that? I was real fast. And so I took off away from his car so quickly that he couldn't catch me. And that's why I wasn't taken, because I like sprinted off away from him so fast. By the time he caught up to where I was at that little entrance where you get ready to turn in to go up the little curve right there, right? So he was afraid to get to me because I was too close to the school at that point. But what I'm saying to you is when I heard the voice, like all the flashback hit me all at once. Boom. And when I went home, I just stopped and I cried. And I called Chief Farrar and I said to him, "I think you guys are looking in the wrong direction." Because me and Chief Farrar always been really tight. He know me
mm,
from a spiritual side. You know, like he knows my spiritual Tosh.
mm.
Um, and so I said to him, Chief, I think you guys are looking in the wrong direction. I think that baby is over there by Central Hudson outlet over there somewhere in the woods because I keep hearing something screaming over there. Help me. And this was far after he was gone, that I
Wow.
could hear him screaming, "Help me." I kept looking around like, can't nobody hear that but me? So these are people say once you go through trauma, you develop mental issues, right? These are some of the mental issues I developed after the trauma. Like I could see spirits move, and I don't know if what they call that is shaken down, stirred up, and pressed together. You understand? But I see stuff happen when I shouldn't be seeing the stuff happening. You get what I'm saying? Like the trauma of that took me into a higher realm, closer to God than I ever thought that I would be in my life. Like when I got to the point where I need to know something higher than just this plane right here. The depths and the amount of understanding that came with it was dangerous.
Yeah.
So, what I want to say to you is your pain is, and it's going to take you to a crazy level that you never thought you experienced in your life.
I'm cool with it.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
God is something
Yeah.
different, bro.
Yeah. I know.
God is something different, bro. I'm trying to tell you. When you start to ask for that healing and really get it, the tubes and the avenues that open up be something, woo, you be like, oh my God, was like, oh my. That's what I'm saying. So when we think that we're living not in the reality of, we living in the reality of. This what it is. It's the denial of us saying it ain't what it is. Yes, it is what it is. Uh-huh, Uncle. Yes, you did. You try to make me not be in reality. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might not have seen that. I didn't, when somebody make a move around you, look like, did y'all see that bit? You might not have made a scene that you might be tripping. No, you not. You saw
That's
that.
true.
You saw that. But force of habit make us look past it. Look away. We saw that, lawyer.
Hmm?
Once we old enough to see that, we saw that.
Yeah, we get it.
We saw that.
Definitely get it.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
People be talking about, no, you didn't see that. Yes, you did. I caught that. No, you didn't, because maybe and so and so, and oh my God, you feel me? No,
Mm-hmm.
cut that shit out. That's why my name Taj B. And not Taj B with a B, but Taj B-E, Taj B.
Mm-hmm.
Taj B done did this. Taj B done said some shit. Taj B done responded out of the normal. Taj be the first one to catch it too, though, lawyer.
Yeah.
You feel me? Cause Taj
Yeah.
done been
Being.
through some shit. Taj done been through some shit. So Taj be done caught that. Like, I be over there waving my hand at the culprit, like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what our pain bring us to. Reality.
Yep. Bring us to the reality.
You feel me? This is the reality
Got
of
you.
it. You really is like this, but I'm trying to make it seem like you ain't really like this because I'm trying to take it on myself and make it seem like maybe if I would have, nah, you really like this.
Yep. I get it.
See, because when we say they not, we lying to ourselves. And then we perpetrate a harm on ourselves. So every time we get harmed, now we think that it's somebody. No, no, I knew you was like that the whole time, but I was taking a chance with you because I saw it in reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is where the best protection for your kids come in reality.
Yep. I agree.
Anything you want to tell them personally going forward?
The audience.
Yes.
Uh. Know that there is help out there for you. You're not alone. It's not your fault, and there are tools out there um, for you to gain your life back. Just get your life back. You know, there's nothing wrong with healing. Everybody need to heal in some form or fashion. You know, trauma come
Yeah.
in many different forms. So just get the proper help that that's meant for you, because like what's meant for you might not work for me. You know, some
Yeah,
people medication
absolutely.
work for them. Medication might not work for me. It might be other things that work for me. You know, so that's the only thing I could tell people. What works for me is staying busy. That's just
Yeah.
only for me. But what may work for you might be, getting you some help with some medication. But whatever you do, make sure you go get you some help, because that trauma, it's gonna continue to leak out, and it's gonna come in a form of aggression, you being defiant, um, and towing the line. So man, if you don't do anything, go get you some help, because there's some help out there for you. You can also
Absolutely.
you can always go online, because I am like a speaker for NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness, and they have
Yes.
plenty of resources for you. Once you get off this, once you stop watching this interview, go to NAMI. And it's NAMI. Just go up there, and they have a ton of resources for you. They nationwide, and find out how you can get you some help.
And there's also they have the counselors online. You guys can call BetterHelp Counseling Services, and BetterHelp will actually um, they can counsel you right through your phone. All you have to do is call them up, uh, have insurance available, and they usually take most insurances, and you can call them right on up, and they'll give you a counselor right on the spot, and also availabilities if you need it. There's also a specialist on there for medication, and then also um, make sure to have a great team behind you when you decide to open up.
Yes, that is true.
'Cause-
Your support system.
yes, because your team will make or break your availability or your ability to be able to heal. A lot of people don't recognize that your team helps you heal. You have to have the right team to help you heal. When you're expressing what you feel, you can't be around a team that's doubting everything you're saying, because it's only going to frustrate the healing process. And so, those were some of the recommendations that I was given going along through my counseling in this last time, because I had gone through it from a child up. Um, and then from a teenager to a young adult, I went through the counseling, and then, adult. But what happens is sometimes we seek um, validation from those same people that we were uprooted from. And so we go back and we get that same abuse again, that same beat down, that same hurt. It may not be in the same form, but we go back again and take that same beat down again, which you have to go back and now undo the harm of that. And so when I said my third interim with counseling, it was to learn how to let go of the need to um, feel like I belonged. You get what I'm saying? Like I
Hmm.
kept going back to feeling like where I needed to be. This is where I belong, and this is where I'm supposed to be, and these is my people, and this is I had the need to belong. My counselor taught me how to come out of, and that has taken place within the last 10 years of needing to belong in any area, you know?
Yeah.
Step out on your own. Step out. Vera Best told me that years ago. What are you doing over there with them anyway? Step out on your own. You have a whole different dynamic about you. There's something totally different about you. Why are you over there with them? They're going to hold you back. They're going to shut you down. But I didn't understand it in the depth in which she was giving it to me. You get me?
Yeah.
Because I was still needing to belong. So then 10 years later, a counselor gives me the same advice. You don't need to belong over there with any of them. You don't need to belong with any of that. You don't need to belong. Be okay with just being.
Yeah, I agree.
So for the last 10 years, I just been being.
Yeah, I get
I'm saying,
it.
I'm telling you, I just been being, damn it. So that's all I ever wish when I ask, for people in healing is just be, man. Just be, like just be.
Yeah, live your life. I get it.
So, lawyer, now going through after your book and stuff, this gonna be my last question. You know how? Let me say this. Let me say this. How do you take this dynamic new you into the new future with your wife and your children and create a new thing, like a new, even with all that stuff in your past, how do you take them and create a new?
I already created a new. I already did that because by becoming retiring from my old company, um, retiring from my old company, becoming a entrepreneur, becoming an author, becoming a motivational speaker, creating my business called Motivational Wing, which is helping helping youths, helping adults, and I'm already there. That is the new me.
Have you
That
run
trans
into
that
any?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, no,
That
no.
is
You
the that
finish.
is the transition from the old me to the new me.
I was gonna ask you, have you run into any children that remind you of you?
Any of my children that remind me of me?
No,
Yeah.
no. Any children out there in the world?
That remind me of me?
Yes.
Only probably like two of my sons, not just a random kid, no.
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 Like when I was out there doing this stuff. See, because it the same as you. God have these like when I say transformative movements in our life, we do these transformative things, right? First, we deal with the truth of it, the reality of it, and then we start dealing with the pain of it, right? And then we
Hmm.
start dealing with the reality of it, right? And then we go into the growth of it. See, because God got these little steps. I call them the stairway to heaven. And then from growth, we go into the dynamics of it. And then from the dynamics of it, we go into the elevation, the teaching level of it, right? But in the dynamics level, God gave me all these little kids to be able to pour my love into. And oh man, it was a couple of them out there that reminded of me. I want to choke a couple of them. I did. I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
want to choke a couple of them. I never forget. I fell through the stage one day after I had finished. She was talking junk over there on the sideline. And as she was talking junk, I was talking junk back to her. And then something happened and I fell through I was taking the screws out. And one of the plywood boards, I forgot that I took the screw out over that way. I went to go step over here and pull the screw out and step down and fell through the whole damn stage, right? How to say little Huzzy was over here on the sideline cracking up laughing. She was She was burning me up over there on the bench. I was mad as hell with her. If ever I wanted to fight a little kid, she was burning me up over there on the sideline. I ain't lying. I said over there acting like me. Like
Mm,
when you see certain things and you looking at them like acting like me.
yeah,
And to the point where you can't even get mad with them. Like some of them was my favorite people.
yeah.
You know, like watching them. I was like, man, oh my God, I remember when I was little. I used to be looking at them saying stuff under my breath like, I want to teach you how to do that bad thing right. You know,
Yeah.
I want to teach you how to do that bad thing right. You get what I'm saying? Like, but I can't
Mhm.
even teach you how to do it the bad thing right because then you gonna turn into something that I turn into later on. So I can't even teach you how to do it right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna let you get in trouble. That's what I turned into after I got big. I'm gonna let you get in trouble for this so that you won't do this again, and then you won't turn out like, you know what I'm saying? Like I became that
Mhm.
type of buffer, because I
Mhm.
want to help you. I want to help you. Like,
Yeah, that's
nah, you
crazy.
standing on the road. Why is you right here on the like, bro? Ease over here into the alleyway. What is you doing, bro?
Mhm.
You
That's
feel me? I,
crazy.
I want to teach him how to do wrong the right way so bad. You feel me?
Mhm.
But that's the pain. That's the pain that want to teach him how to do wrong the right way.
Yep.
But the healing in me, check the healing part out. The healing in me let him go ahead and get in trouble the first time and get it over with.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to spank you after you get in trouble. I'm going to give you a double dose. Remember how we used to get popped by everybody going up the block?
Mhm.
The whole village beat
Yep.
you going home.
Mhm.
That's to let you know that none of us approve of this.
Yep.
So I let them get popped. You know what I'm saying? And then when they come out of the wherever they done got popped from, I pop them again with my flip flop two more times. What? I done told you. You you get what I'm saying, right? So
Mhm.
that's the healer in me though.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna give you a hug and a piece of chocolate cake.
Mhm.
You know, because that's the healer in me. That's what it turned into. So I'm glad that you turn into a healer even with your pain.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I want to say to you in all that exaggerated talking. Um, I want to sincerely thank you for trusting me with your story tonight, lawyer.
Thank you for having me on.
You know, thank you for sharing this experience and letting people know that this is not a weakness, it's actually a strength.
Mhm.
It's truth and it's leadership, you know?
Yep.
And
Mhm.
so to anyone else watching who may see themselves in this conversation, you are not broken. You are not alone. And what happened to you was not your fault. Healing does not have a lifeline. And silence is not a requirement for survival. Support exists, and your life, your joy, and your voice still matters regardless of whatever the circumstances are. And here at the Ultimate DJ Music Review and More Talk Show, we believe music culture and honest conversation can be tools for healing. And I hope that tonight was proof. So I just wanted to say that to you on my way getting out the door. But um, always remember, you can always come back here. You're always welcome to come back. We have
Appreciate it.
um, panels that come up. Yeah, we have panels that come up and very, seriously intellectual people that come aboard, like Dr. Corey will come on, or Frank Carbone comes on, and we have Damon Joe. Just there's serious panels that we have sometime, and you're always welcome to come up. You're always welcome to join the panels, and definitely voice what it is from a healing perspective of what you think needs to happen and what needs to take place with the world going forward. You know, we can't go backward. We can remember the past, but we can't go backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
All we can do is keep it moving and going forward. So, if there's ever a time that you just want to come up and shoot the gip, let me know,
I will.
and I'll let the radio station know, and we'll put you in and just kick it.
I feel you. I appreciate it.
I mean, what did you think the interview was gonna be like? Let me ask you that on your way out the door, because you wanted me to
I
give you a
I
whole
knew you
list of
was.
questions and some stuff.
Nah, I knew it wasn't gonna. I knew it wasn't gonna be a disservice. I knew that you was
I,
gonna keep it real because we're from the same block. I know it was going, and plus it's a sensitive matter. I knew you was going. I knew you
you
wouldn't
ain't
do
see me
that to
duck
me.
down when I said that.
Yeah,
I ducked.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. I was like, yeah. I like. I knew. I was like, I trust her because we from that same, that block. So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And it bring awareness in that home. It bring awareness in the hometown. To be honest, like people looking at this interview, they can kind of identify. And if it's anyone from off our block, they can kind of connect the dots together.
yeah,
They can
yeah,
connect the
absolutely.
dots. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Because
and
it's
get
been
the
a lot
book.
going on. Yeah.
So all they gotta do is get the book. They'll know exactly who the person is.
Yeah, and not only that,
So.
the funny part about it is, even as I got older, even off the block, I was experienced that. Like, I would be walking and see, like we said, we ain't even gotta say no names because everybody gonna know. Because I used to hit that Liberty Street corner
hmm
on South and Liberty, and a grown man would be up there, sitting up there. I was like 11 or 12 years old, telling me about my backyard or something, and I got something going on, a great future, and all kind of stuff. And he was like, grown, and you gonna be my girlfriend, and all kind of stuff. Like, he made me hate old men. He
Yeah.
made me hate older men. Like, with a passion, me being at a certain age and a man being too much more older than me, I couldn't stand him in my face. Stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, from 11-year-old kid having to experience that continually, and then having to grow up with that. And then, like I said, I be hearing some of the topics out here in the world. And I'm saying, well, they like, well, you got to find them when they like 17, 18. And, we old at 40, they grown and we grow.
hmm
Like, it triggers me when I hear that. You understand?
hmm
Because that's how I wind up with children from somebody older chasing me down. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was a little kid. I wasn't supposed to be having no kids. I was a little kid. I ain't even like it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you understand what I'm saying to you, right? The older man chasing me down, like, just chasing me to the point where now I just don't even want to be bothered.
Yeah. I get it.
Like, just chasing me until I just don't want to be bothered. Now can't nobody figure out why she don't want to be bothered. Like, y'all wore me out. I'm tired. You feel me? You wore
Yeah.
me out because I'm running. Y'all chasing behind me. You never even gave me a chance to like who I like. Because you chasing me down trying to do what you like.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying to you? So it was real straining later on for me, even, growing up, and, older guy talking to me and say, I will look at him and say some stuff like, I got a father.
Well, yeah,
Like, you old enough to be my father, but I already got a father. What I'm saying
yeah,
to you, that mean, so these are the things that go along with the impulses of that trauma. And so when I hear them out here trying to traumatize other people, it's so emotional for me. I just sit back and I kind of listen to them, and luckily enough, it's not as triggering as before because I now understand what it is.
yeah,
Do you ever get to that point where you just look up and smirk because you know exactly what it is?
yeah. No, I'm not even in that space anymore. I'm a very sheltered person now. I don't like. I always have my ring on when I see but don't see. You know,
Yeah,
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 that's how I move. I like even when you from the streets and people try to like get your attention. I don't see. Like
yeah.
I'm very rooted into what I am and who I'm a part of now. So those outside noise, I'm good on it. I'm focused on me because I'm not gonna lose all my blessing off of something that doesn't mean anything to me. So I just keep it moving.
See, I'm a person in the entertainment world, you know? Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Oh my goodness. You hear me,
yeah,
lawyer? Oh my goodness. I just look up now. They think I don't even say nothing. They don't even know if I can talk or not. This is the most that people know for me to even speak. I just
yeah.
look up. I don't even say nothing no more. I just look up. I nod my head, keep right
Keep it
on
moving.
going.
Yeah,
This is
you have to.
my show is the most that I talk to anybody. You understand
Yeah,
that? This is the most that I talk to anybody. That's um how enclosed my area is and my space is right now in life with the peace that passes all understanding. You know, that's what you wind up with in the end of all of that. That's how I want to close it out with you to make you understand that even after us going through all of that and having all those issues growing up and stuff, what happens is that God gives us something called a peace that passes all understanding.
yeah,
And that right there is the most dangerous thing to have because it's very confusing to the people around you. You
yeah.
know, and that peace is, you know, it's almost ethereal. So I just wanted to say to you, I gotta tell you thank you one more time for bringing this to our attention. I want to bless your book going out the door. Bless your walk, your feet, your hands, your stride, your mind in the name of Jesus, and keep your mind on what God have already given you, because what was taken, but what was given back was 100 times greater. So
Yeah,
you have something that you can give back and send out some magnificent people into the world with what you know right now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So blessings on everything that you do. I'm glad to see you here, dude. I ain't seen you since we were little.
I know. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Uh-huh. When we used to go over there and pull your little hair like this, remember we used to be pulling in your hair like that?
Yeah, yeah,
you you a little. You was little.
Yep.
And then y'all had moved Bobo and then moved downstairs from you. Remember when you tripped Bobo and he chipped his tooth?
Years ago.
You think
My
I ain't
daughter
remember
trying
that?
to knock this door open. She's trying to knock this door open, boy. Yep.
You hear me laughing talking about what you think I ain't remember that? I remember that.
Yeah,
Lawyer, make sure you do good, take care of the family, keep the
I
wife
will.
happy. She gonna keep you happy if you keep her happy. You know that though already. Um,
All right.
First, make sure them babies is always up underneath you, which you teach them what you know, because can't nobody teach them better than you. Okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you for
Yes,
having me on.
kiss the family, hug my sister, your sister, and always welcome. Okay?
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you for
Thank
having me on. All
thank
right.
you.
Bye.
His baby said, come up out there. She over there acting like Vanna. Vanna said, it's time to go. I thank you guys. We went a little bit over. I was expecting that it would go a little bit over this evening because of the sensitive conversation that we were having. Because I know this man, I didn't want it to be um, ridiculous. Like, sometimes we can get into it a little bit deep and then it turns into a hailstorm of other stuff, and I didn't want it to go that direction. So it's kind of why I kept it a little lighthearted between us, and for the audience sake as well, because a lot of times we can tell our stories, and our stories are sometimes outrageous, the things that have happened to people over the years. And I just wanted to give this story so that other people know that it's okay to tell. Like it's okay. Like, and you don't have to stay a full victim like for the rest of your life. Like you know, we were victimized, but we are now survivors. We're no longer victims of this thing. Like we survived to go tell the story to somebody else that maybe they'll understand that this is not your issue. This is the person that harms you issue. And don't hold on to it for too long, because if you hold on to somebody else's issues, it'll destroy you. And on that, um, I just want to say thank you to everybody that comes through, everybody that watches the show, and everybody that taps in with us. I love you guys. Always one. I think I got Hod coming up next week. I'm not certain. If not Hod, then we'll probably do a reaction. Um, and then we have Les J coming up the week after, and then Michelle Wilfong the week after, and then somebody else the week after. We'll keep telling you as it go along. I love y'all. Y'all
Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh, guess I was freezed up. Fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speakers. I can't hear y'all haters, you gotta speak up. I don't need to slow down, I need to speed up. Anonymous activity, Bobby B stuff. Jealousy's a ski mask, emotion, and eat up. Fresh out of the freezer. Fresh, guess I was freezed up. Fresh out of the deeper freezer, cause I'm deeper than any voice on speaker.